All right, everybody. I apologize again for the late stream here. I just felt terrible like this morning. Like I woke up at like 9 o'clock or so, and I just kept feeling like I was gonna be sick. And eventually, I was able to get back to sleep. And then when I woke up, I felt a hell of a lot better. So I am here. I am super excited to go ahead and do today's stream, which is our Art Share stream. If you are brand new here, I do a Art Share stream every Saturday. I have a blue sky post that I pin to my profile where you can submit your artwork with some really brief lore, and I will show it off to the good people of the world every week. Excuse me. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop on over here. Hey, Feisty, how's it going? Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Yeah, better late than never, right? I decided, like, even earlier, even if I was still, like, nauseous later, I was gonna just, bite the bullet and do this anyway. So, hold on, I gotta move my Twitch. It's a little, like, distorted on my screen. I have a curved monitor as my second monitor, and sometimes if I move things weird, it'll like make things look funky. Okay, now I can see it. Now I can see all my interactions with you guys and everything. Hell yeah. Alright, let's get right into this. So let's go ahead and start here. And first we have Ellie Lai. I love Ellie Lai's artwork. She has fantastic artwork. Ellie Lai wrote, "Hello everyone, thank you for the opportunity to show off my creativity. You are very welcome. That is what I'm here for." Ooh, this is really cool. I like how it's like mostly monochromatic, except for like this. We've got like a gold fleck kind of like effect here on the earrings, and then she's got some really neat like collarbone piercings, which is really cool. I like it. And then she's got like the super cool the skull lollipop here, looking tasty. Yeah, it was nausea amongst other things, and luckily it has passed. I don't know. I'm kind of blaming maybe something I ate recently. I think that might have been the issue. So I don't know. I don't know what it was. I can only speculate that it was food, because I was fine last night, and then I woke up and I was just like, oh no. Let's go on to the next one here. Ooh, we got like a super spoopy one here. I would not want to turn on the lights and see this, like, hovering over me in my bed, or maybe, creepily sitting on my chest, like scratching me with their long fingers. I like I really like the texturing, like especially on the background here. It does a really good job of separating the values in the image. Looks really good. I like it. That's awesome. Go to the next one here. Ooh, we got like a fantasy one here. That's really neat. I really like that. Like I'm not exactly sure like what race this is supposed to be, but I don't know why. I think it's because of like the white markings. I'm almost getting kind of like a cow kind of vibe, even though these are like, this is more of like a skull kind of markings, because we have like bones here. It's really cool though. A lot of detail in the accessories on the dress and everything. Really solid anatomy on this one, and the hair looks nice and floofy and flowy. So that's really cool. I like that. Hell yeah. And then we got this one here. Ooh, this one kind of looks like it's almost like pixel art or something here. That's kind of crazy. I kind of like that like effect. Like it's like maybe some sort of like specter, like from like back in the day. Like you're like browsing like I don't know, like AOL chats or something, and then your screen glitches out, and then this pops up and it takes over your computer. Kind of like that. What was that movie? It was like White Noise or something like that. No, not White Noise. There was another one. It had what's her face with the, I hate to say it, but funny eye. She has a funny eye, and but she's Kristen Bell. She was in it. She's still super cute. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not shaming her for the funny eye. So, oh, it's called Pulse. Havoc just helped me out. Havoc with the assist. But yeah, looks really, really good. So that was everything from Eli. Thank you so much for submitting your artwork once again. I am super like over the moon that you are continuing with your art journey and you're feeling more confident about it as you should because you're a fantastic artist. All right, and oops, I backed like all the way out like a dummy. All right, next up we have KVAC M Art, aka Michael KVAC. Michael wrote, "Thank you for the art share. Hey, you're super welcome. Hi, I'm a landscape and cityscape artist, and I do sci-fi, fantasy, and space arts." Which is awesome. Like I said, I'll make this comment every single week. I'm so happy that we have such a large variety of artists in here. It is going to be super helpful for when I have a studio and I need to put a team together here. So let's go ahead and start with this one. The alt says a surrealistic scene of an astro cat sitting on a moon orbiting a Earth-like planet and watching other planets, Phoenix-like nebula, stars, and other space stuff. Ooh, it does look like a phoenix. I really like that. That's really cool. And then you got like this maybe possibly like a man-made like rocket kind of rocketing off here. That's really neat. And I love how like the space cat only needs a little bubble helmet to like survive in space on this tiny tiny little boat, or maybe it's massive. Maybe the cat itself is Gigantor Cat. That's awesome. I love it. Everything looks really, really solid. I love the contrasting colors between the Earth-like planet and all of the nebulae and the stars and whatnot. It looks really, really nice. Really, really good. And then you get kind of like a sense of distance between the cat and the rest of the planets in the image, which looks really nice. All right, next one here. And we saw this once before, but this one reminds me a lot of like a Blade Runner kind of thing. Like maybe if you took Blade Runner and turned it into a Metroidvania. There's actually a new game coming out called Replaced that really gives off this kind of vibe here. And of course, don't trust corpos. That is, that is the mythos of our times. So, black and white noir Art Deco cityscape with running person on roofs. On one of the building's neon pixelated display says, "Do not trust corpos." And we've seen this one before as well, but that's okay. It's still nice and lovely here. We have a little like, kind of like fantasy space elf here with a little bit of a possible lost civilization here in the background. An Earth-like planet with a, what I would assume is like a Venus type moon. And then again, with the, I guess the Phoenix Nebula is like kind of like a common connecting thread between KVAC's arts here. So it says, "Elf girl leaning on a wall of old ruins on hill, watching a view of another ruins on a hill in a forest with night sky with two moon-like objects and a dragon-like nebula." Okay, so this one's more of a dragon than a phoenix. Ooh, this one's cool. I haven't seen this one yet. Surrealistic space scene of star system in sea of icy asteroids with clouds of nebula, planets with moons and green star. Yeah, this is really neat. I really like this. This almost looks like there's kind of like a like it says in the description, like a sea that the planet actually sits in, and then there's like this like gaseous kind of thing that is kind of like pulled in by like the gravity that surrounds the entire planet, and then you have other like planets and moons. I really like that. That's a neat concept, and I love that you can see like the brushwork up here at the top to really give it that like nice like halo effect for like the green star, and also like the light ring refraction here is also fantastic. That looks really really nice. Let me get some water real quick. All right, so that is everything from KVAC, Michael KVAC here. As you can see, they are super, super talented. I really enjoy seeing your work. If we ever wanted to work on like a side scroller, I would definitely come to you for like background design. All right, next up we have The Darling. They wrote, Good morning. And thank you for hosting. Hey, you're super, super welcome. I'm Eve, an illustrator with a love for creating fan art, OCs, and drawing silly beasts. Let's get right into it. So this one, the alt reads Year of the Horse slash Unicorn. So it's an illustration of a unicorn here. Looking pretty cool. I love the I'm assuming this is like the Chinese version of their like the equivalent, I guess, in Japanese would be like hiragana or kanji or something like that. So I guess this is like the Chinese writing here, and I really like the horseshoes for like the good luck. And I love like the stylization of like the little tiny wings that you got on the hoofs here, and they got like the holographic looking like pearlescent like effects on the horn and on the hooves, and also on like the inside of the ears. That's a nice little touch. Really neat. I like this. This would be super cool as like a kind of like a print. And then we have Lieb from Black Clover Sketch. Oh, okay, I gotcha. So if you haven't, this is a spoiler for Black Clover. This is, ooh, it's Hanzi, Chinese characters of good fortune. Hell yeah! Welcome to the stream. I appreciate it. You got the assist there, like right on your first try. That's fucking awesome. I appreciate it. But yeah, later in the series in Black Clover, you get to see the devil in which Asta's powers originate from, and he's technically his brother, which is really cool. So this is like a sketch here. You got really really solid line work, looks really really nice, great expression and everything. I love the variation of thickness that you have, like with your line width. Looks really really good. This is something you should like strive to do as an artist here, is at least like, the areas where like the lines connect, you kind of want to make sure that like it's fattened up a little bit. You can also use this for like perspective effects, like say anything that's like closer to the screen, you could have thicker lines, and if it's farther away, like up here, see how it thins out. It kind of looks like it's like fading, like there's like an atmospheric like perspective. So that's a little tip there. Really really nice. I like it. And then this one is OC Sketch Line Art. Ooh, I like this too. This looks really nice. I like how it kind of looks like a combination of like really nice like either color pencil or like marker work, maybe like digital kind of Copic looking here in the background. And this is the power of the symmetry tool too here, which is really nice. Like I love using like the symmetry tool. I usually, once I've done like everything I want to be symmetrical, I'll turn the symmetry tool off, and I'll do stuff where I'll put like little like stray hairs here and there to give it a little bit of asymmetry, so it's not like, exactly the same on both sides. But it works out really nice. Especially if you've got like say an OC that has like a very complex design, especially in their costume or their outfit. Using the symmetry tool, if they're front facing, is a really nice way to get that done. Especially if you got like something where it's got like, like engraving or like embossing on it. It's a very powerful tool. Ooh, this is cool. This is Senna OC. I like this arm. This arm is super sick here. It's like really really cool. It kind of looks like it's like an oni or like an ogre arm maybe, and then it's got like a little it's got some fins on it, so maybe it's more of like an aquatic kind of like arm here. That's really neat. I like that. And this is another good tip here. If you want to like kind of like break up spaces on your OC designs, adding pattern work to larger pieces is like a really effective way to do that. And they did an awesome job with like the placement on that. And you see how like the detail is like way less down here, and then you have like also you have the pops of different colors that are a bit more saturated toward the upper half of the body. So this is really good design. Also the cat's super cute. Can't ignore that. All right, that is everything from the Darling. As you can see, they are super talented. Thank you so much for posting in our art share. All of your artwork was absolutely lovely, and I cannot wait to see more from you next week. All right, next up we have Aaron Boy Verhel. By the way, Verhel has emergency commissions open. If you guys could do me a favor, maybe check that out, see if you could throw something his way. I would really appreciate it on my behalf there. He also said that he couldn't make it because it's too late where he lives. So I apologize for the late stream, Verhel, but I'm glad you're here in spirit. Hi, Art Aniki. Glad that you're back. Ooh, I appreciate it. Thank you. I only have two characters to showcase from my fantasy world for Maydol, only this time they have alternate forms. As usual, their names, title, and lore are in the alts. Peace. Alrighty, we have, and I'm gonna butcher these names, so I do apologize. Guzjan Travoltis, the Ghoul Hunter, a family man from the Gothic town of Vendagoth. He joined the Order of Hunters in a quest to rid the land from the evil, unholy influences of Eldaron, the Vampire Lord. Very merciless to the undead, stoic, and no sense of humor. Cherishes his family the most. This is cool, though. I like this. I like how he has, like, this kind of, like, cool, like, I don't know if this is maybe like a leather type armor with like some additions on it, or if he actually has like some sort of like hybridization like of his like arm in order to fight the undead and the ghouls. It's got to be interesting to do the dual pistols with like flintlock pistols, because they take quite a long time to reload from what I understand. But it's pretty cool. I like it. I love the trope of the shadowed eyes underneath like the brim of like a big hat. I don't know why I always think that's like really neat. Cool stuff. I like it. Oh, he does have like a okay, so he has an undead arm underneath that. He has like a transformation. Gujan Traveltis in his ghoul form. Gujan was eventually cursed by Eldaron after an encounter with the Vampire Lord, causing him to gain an undying hunger for human flesh. This curse kicked in one night, which led him to slay and feast on his wife and two children's bodies. Oh. Much to his regret, he has since become vengeful towards Eldaron and will go to lengths to obtain a cure to his curse. He constantly fights for his sanity, even ate his hand during a frenzy just to save a victim of his rampage from himself. Ooh, damn. Resulting to self-cannibalism in order to stave off his hunger. That's like crazy. That's cool. Let's go to the next one here. We have Roger D. Fireborn, the Skyfire Captain. Once a dragon who got bored of being a dragon. That's funny. I mean, I guess you would after a while, you know, if you live that long. Roger sacrificed a lot of his magic to take a human form where he would fight and pillage his way to power and wealth. He became the captain of an infamous band of sky pirates commanding the airship known as the Skyfire Fortress. That's an interesting backstory, though. I think that's like a pretty neat idea to like just be like, man, I've been alive since like the beginning of time, and I want to do something different. I don't want to just be a big old dragon sitting on my hoard. I just want to go out and be a pirate dude. So he did. That's awesome. I like it. I look how he's got like some, maybe scaling going on here. You know what? This is a good way to do it, where you don't have to draw every single scale. You can just imply that there are scales in different areas. And I love the addition of like the little like flames on the pirate hat. I think that's super cool. It's a really creative, neat idea. I like it. Ooh, this is his dragon form. Pyrexion, the Ember's Wrath, the true draconic form of Roger D. Fireborn. He was an orphaned offspring of a legendary pure fire dragon alongside an ice-breathing brother. Before becoming a pirate, he managed to gain the reputation for destroying many cities and slaying knights who were after his hoard of gold. I mean, dragons got priorities, man. Like, you gotta keep that bag if you got it. So, you go into a dragon's hoard, it's gonna turn into a Waffle House parking lot. So, real fast. But yeah, super neat. Again, did a really good job of like implying like the scale work here instead of drawing out each single one. I am also a fan of the two different colored eyes. I am totally not biased when it comes to that whatsoever. Let me make sure my friggin' camera can see me here. I'm shrimping a little bit, I do have to admit. Alright, so that is everything from Aaron Boy Verhel. Again, they have emergency commissions open, so if you guys could do me a favor and go check them out so you can get some awesome artwork with some good story to go along with it, I would appreciate it. Thank you for submitting, Aaron Boy. You're super awesome. Alright, next up here we have Riola. They wrote, "Hi, I'm a freelance artist. I like to challenge myself. I also really love textures." Ooh. Oh, don't need that. It's already in English. I don't know why it told me that. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I definitely see the wow, I can see the challenge and all the different like texture like work here and stuff. That's awesome. Hey, Cacho, how's it going? So glad you can make it. Sorry it's so late. I really did not want to start this late, but I just was not feeling well enough earlier. I'm good now though. This is really cool. They did a really good job of not only they have really good like composition and atmospheric like perspective, so it's like really dark with like the foreground images, which also really works like super well with what's going on in the image with this like dark spoopy figure over here stalking this little boy who's trying to get his ball out of the lake. And then as you go back, it gradually gets lighter and lighter as it goes to the background. So that's like a really good way of showing like the contrasting tones and distance with atmospheric perspective, and the reflective work in the water is really nice. I like that. Oh, excuse me, I keep burping. Oh my god. I'm so professional. But yeah, this is really neat. There's like a ton to look at, and it's fantastic. I love it. Ooh, this is really cool. I like this. It's like, I know that this like isn't spiderweb, but it kind of gives me like kind of like that vibe, like you walked into like a giant like big ass spider, and like they have their like web up here. So That's really cool. I like it though. I like his boots too. These are wild ass boots. I like that. I like that the boots have a handle so you can pull them up onto your feet. Like that's super sick. I love it. Ooh, this is really nice too. I like that a lot of these have like their own like visual storytelling going on with the scenes that they're in. Also, really good job with the having the candlelight appear not only on the background around them, but also on the side facing the character as well. So it's nice and warm up here in the center of interest, and then the colors get cooler as it goes in this direction. So that's a really, really good job of that. I can see they love some texture. There's texture all over the place. But it looks really nice. This looks nice in 3D back here. They did a really good job with like the carpeting, which is a really, really difficult thing to do. Like, my hat's off to you. That's awesome. Ooh, we got like a double feature one here. Hell yeah. Ooh, this is really cool. I love like how this is done, where it's like the cloth itself is really like either sheer or wet and is sticking to the body. And it's just covered up enough that I think Twitch will forgive me for this one, for showing this one. And then also, they did a good job of not putting too much contrast on the scale work on the dragon, where it kind of like, fades out here and there and it works like with the lighting. That way it's not like way too busy or distracting, so it looks really nice. And then this one over here, it's like, ooh, what is going on here? He's all chained up. We got like some like torture chains on the background here. But she kind of looks like she might be like a dominatrix or something. I don't know. I don't know if this is incoming sexy times or is this incoming bad times. Maybe a combination of both. Who knows? But it looks really good. All right, so that is everything from Riola. As you can see, they have commissions open. Make sure you check them out, give them lots of support. I love your artwork. It looks absolutely fantastic. Again, you definitely, like with all these images, I can see how you like to challenge yourself, and I can definitely see all the intense care you put into your texture. So fantastic work. Yeah, it is beautiful. Really, really good. All right, next up we have Sarah Mackenzie. Thanks for the art share. Hey, you're super welcome. I make fantasy and sci-fi illustration, all digital. Lots of it involves dragons, and most of it is creature concept art. Again, a nice addition to our little team if I ever want one. I don't think I have shared Draco or Myrem before. Nope, you haven't. Ooh, it's like a cool mecha dragon. Creature concept, Draco, mecha, amphir, amphirites here? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know how to say that. Sorry. Amphitery. I don't know. I'm a VTuber. That's my excuse. That's my cope. None of us can read. Digital illustration of a robotic winged snake on a black background. His tongue is made out of black metal, and two plasma globes are fastened to the back of his head. Yellow painted spikes stick out towards from the back of each globe, and similar stripes run the length of the creature's body on its back. The long serpentine body is made of spacesuit-like white canvas and has metal plates sewn into the top and belly. Between the metal plates is a long row of rocket boosters, some of which are firing white and orange flames. The tip of the tail, at the very end of the serpent's body, is split into three black tendrils made of similar material to its tongue. They crackle with lightning rods that jump between them. A pair of draconic wings sprouts from Draco's sides, made of a jointed metal frame with a rubber membrane stretched between. Inside the membrane of each wing is a pair of large propellers. Nice. We got a hell of a thorough explanation, so I appreciate it. Now we know what type of material everything is made out of, each individual part. That's so neat. Yeah, the metal looks like really, really nice. They do a really good job with differentiating blah, 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 different like material types. Such as like like the wings here is clearly a different material than say the metal plating, and then I definitely see like the spacesuit type material now that I have read that in the description. And I really like how like it's putting off like a little bit of smoke from the afterburner things that we got going on here. And then there's plasma in here, which is like super crazy. And then we have like lightning crackling back here. Really, really neat. I really like this. Like I could see like this kind of work as like maybe like some sort of like enemy like in some sort of game, like maybe even like a wild like either FPS or Souls like game. I think that would be really neat. All right, this one is character concept art. Myram Tita Lanontic sci-fi design. Digitally rendered art of a middle-aged woman in science fiction themed formal attire. She is posed standing forward with her weight shifted onto one foot, while the other is trailing behind her as if she has just paused in a step. Her eyes are fixated on an orange hologram hovering in front of her right hand, viewer's left. The other hand, to her opposite side, hovers before another smaller hologram. Both holograms are filled with text and diagrams of machinery. Her hair is red and held up in a braided military hairstyle. A brown streak runs through one side of the braids and into the bun at the base of her head, where the hair is collected. A tattoo of an antlion covers her left eye, viewer's right, and her irises are seafoam green. She has faint freckles scattered across her face, which is pinched in a concentrated position. Her fingernails are painted metallic copper. The woman wears a choker made of dark strips of leather-like material and wears a full bodysuit of a pale tan color. It is skin tight and has long sleeves that cover her hands, but not her fingers, much like fingerless gloves. The suit is patterned with elongate, bilaterally symmetrical trapezoids of a shiny, reflective glaze. The legs of the suit disappear into knee-high boots of a purple and orange fabric, with the toes and outsoles consisting of the same coppery material as her fingernail coatings. Rows of square buttons made of a metal line the front of the boots in double rows. A dress-like coat made from layered turquoise fabric is worn over the suit as well. It is somewhat similar to a trench coat and is bound at her waist with a thick copper belt. Woo! That was a challenge. Definitely, I hope I'm getting a better score on my reading comprehension here. So, but yeah, it looks really neat. I like it. Like again, I really like the difference in the material types. The very basic background. I really like the flooring here. I think that looks really neat in particular. And then we can see that there's like possibly either some dust floating in the air, or perhaps this is like a particle effect from the holograms. I think it's pretty neat that the holograms themselves actually look like they are pieces of paper, like with the way that they're folded. I think that's like really, really neat. But yeah, really cool stuff. I like it. All right, so that was everything from Sarah Mackenzie. As you can see, she's a super talented creature designer and concept artist, and I definitely look forward to working with you in the future. We'll have to get together to work on some projects. All right, next up we have K-Deer. Hopefully I'm saying their name right, or Cater. They wrote, "Hi, thanks for the art share. I'm a fantasy sci-fi character artist. I love drawing glowing things and metal. Hey, same. Same. So I think we saw this one previously, but it's still like super super neat here. We definitely got like some crazy like almost kind of looks like the almost like the Dune armor a little bit, but a little bit more like elaborate. Got like the whole spine thing going on here, and I really like the lighting effects on the composite bow here. It looks really cool, and they did a really good job of like separating the values by adding the lighter area where there are darker parts of the armor, and then having up here they have the of course night sky or space on the lighter, like superimposed with the light head here. So that it's really good compositionally. Ooh, we haven't seen this one. This one's really cool. We got this super cool elf guy here. He's got like some snake armor going on. I really like this. This is an awesome shot. Yeah, gotta highlight the cheeks. It's very important. It's like required. But yeah, I really like this. This is like super neat. Like he's either like casting a spell, or perhaps his magic has like shattered like a plane of glass in front of him. He's got like the blacked out scaleras, which is pretty neat, with the silver eyes, which is really nice. And like the framing of all of this like works really well compositionally. It's like the golden spiral basically like leading towards like the face here, so it kind of curves up and around and then lands on the face, which is super awesome. Also really good like focal blur as well. Very dynamic. I love it. Ooh, this is cool here too. I really like the way they rendered the metal materials on this. It kind of reminds me of how oh god, what's his name? The Chinese artist. Crap. Uh, shit. Anyway, they do this where they don't actually like things look really complex like from a distance, but if you zoom in, it is actually like really just like high contrast, like basic when it comes to like metallic materials, and it's really really effective. Like I don't know. I think I even have a tendency to like over render like metallic areas like when I work on them. So this is a really good example of how you don't have to go like super super crazy and you can get a really nice effect with the material differences. Like metallic stuff is all about like high contrast, like having really like dark shadows and really bright like highlights, wherever the light is hitting. But yeah, it's really nice, and I love like the focal blur of the lattice work here in the background, and it almost looks like maybe there's like a brazier, the big giant like fire pots like kind of in the back here with a little bit of like some embers going by. That's a really nice touch. I like that. It kind of looks like a Dro, like with his like skin color and his like hair color too. So that's cool. All right, so that was everything from Cater. All of your art is absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to see more of it next week. Thank you so much for participating in the Art Share. Fantastic stuff. All right, we got a couple posts here from Mana Mineko Art. So let's go with the first one here. It says, thanks for the Art Share. MS Paint Art is back with mixed arts. I'm not just limited to digital. Ooh, multi-talented. One is clay craft of a stylized version of My Little Pony's G1, excuse me, Japanese Takara pony, Milky. She wears a Japanese Lolita fashion jumper skirt inspired by the Milky Pony Carnival piece from the brand Angelic Pretty. So let's go ahead and make it big here. Ooh, this is cool. I like this. You can see all the different steps and everything, and then you can see like the final result. It's so cute. Like the main thing here is like the super super like solid base that you've like established like with the clay work. It looks really, really good. Looks really nice. I like it. Definitely multi-talented here. That takes a lot of work. And let's go to the next one here. Here is the draw. Oh, let me read what you wrote. Dress is made from a hospital face mask and some other things. Two is the digital art of the pony, which inspired the clay craft. I love putting them in Lolita outfits and piling on as much detail as possible. So this was all done in like MS Paint, these like digital ones here. So it's like I'm always like insanely impressed by Manaminako's like ability to create wonderful art using like such a basic program such as MS Paint. Either that or MS Paint is just like really upped its game, and I'm just like sleeping on it or something. They also do this with their mouse, which is nuts. So this is so good. All the detail work is great. The posing is absolutely fantastic. I love the composition, with the diamond and the rectangle. Works really well for framing it with like the filigree in the background. Looks absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Maybe I should do that as like an art challenge. Maybe like one day for a stream where like I pop open MS Paint and see what I can do with it. I think Monomaneko is got my goat as far as that. Like I feel like they get the award. So and the last one's here. Three is a redesign of the My Little Pony character, DJ Pawn 3, vinyl scratch as a mule with a bat pony aesthetic. Mules are typically looked down on in the show canon, but bat ponies are highly regarded. Four is the Nightwalker, a creature of my own design that exists as part of my Alice in Wonderland themed story. Ooh, this is neat. I like it. I like his mohawk. That's super cool. Actually, I think the mules are actually the cuter ones here, especially the way you drew it. He's got little strappies down here. That's so cute. I like it. And then he's got his like badass like Alucard from like Helsing glasses going on here. That's sick. I like it. And then this is like a really cool like creature design here. Kind of reminds me of like a Kieran almost like kind of design, or something that you would like see in Monster Hunter. And I am a sucker for Monster Hunter. That is like one of my absolute favorite games of all time. So this would be a really cool monster to see in Monster Hunter and have to fight it. I know, it's crazy. This is all using a mouse in MS Paint. Like, I'm just so impressed. It's like absolutely insane. I couldn't imagine getting kicked in the face by like these big ass hoofs either. That would suck. All right, so that is everything from Mana Mineko Art. Make sure you check them out. They also have Ko-Fi commissions open, which they have a link. So if you want some absolutely stunning MS Paint art, or if you would like some really cute, I don't know if they do traditional commissions, but if that's a possibility, you could hit them up and check it out. So, oh yeah, what's up, Kato? Yep, it is definitely yeah, it's Overworld Core Pride, yeah, from I don't know, Exorcist. Hell yeah. Yeah, I've got it on so I normally play like my art list that I have, which has like an insane amount of music on it, on shuffle. But sometimes shuffle will play some of like the more like obscure like random stuff that I have. So this time I did like a mix, and it decided it was going to play a bunch of either Japanese or like anime flavored music. Oh yeah, no, I love them. Don't get me wrong. It was playing Man with a Mission earlier, so I was like rocking out to that. Let me get some water real fast. Next up, we have The Big Cheese. The Big Cheese wrote, "Hi, Rhea at Lightning Eve's concert." Ooh. And for you guys that don't know, The Big Cheese is very new in their art journey, and they have like made giant leaps and strides in their artwork every single week that they post. They're like just up in their game, pumping out new bangers here. So these are two characters that we saw previously in character sheets. Now we can see them actually interacting in their little world. Like this one's actually legitimately like having a concert, and then this one's like enjoying it, throwing up the horns. And I love like the lighting effects that they did for this. It looks really nice. We got a nice little glow here on the screen. Looks absolutely fantastic, and I love the little. I'm always a sucker for like glowy things on the characters, like their runes that they have in this world that they have on their characters have a slight glow to them. So it looks absolutely fantastic. All right, so that was everything from the Big Cheese. Make sure that you encourage them on their art journey. They are absolutely killing it. I mean, like I said, for only drawing 2 years, they are making so much progress, and I'm so proud of their work. All right, next up we have Abby M. Craft. Governess is a great band too. Also big into Visual K. Shit, I need to make a list for all my viewer suggestions here. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I'll make a little text document because I am super into all types of music. So having recommendations would make me super happy. If you're not already in the Discord too, there's also a spot on my Discord to suggest music as well. Let's see. I thought I made one already. Hold on. I thought one of them from the Gazette passed away, like the bass player, or did they just leave the band and I got misinformation? Because their bass player is nuts. So if they did pass away, that's really unfortunate. All right, cool. Hold on, I gotta make a new text document. Trying to see if I already had one. Oh man, that's so sad. Let's see. Chat's music recommendations. Pretty sure I spelled that wrong. That's okay. All right. Gallagher's. Copy. Paste. Fantastic. I'll go ahead and keep that open. Yeah, that sucks, man. Like, I love them. They're so good. All right. Let's see. So we have Abby M. Craft. Excuse me. They wrote, "Hi, thanks again for hosting this. Hey, you're super welcome. I'm Abby M. Craft. For those who don't know me, I'm a traditional human artist who makes cute and cozy art." Oh, these are so adorable. A drawing of Hatchrim from Pokemon. Hatchrim is a small, vaguely humanoid Pokemon with a pink body and a large light blue mass of hair surrounding its head. It has a conical point on top of its hair that is pink at the bottom and white on the top, with the tip being crooked and tapering off at the end. On the sides of its hair are two large blue bulbous growths that appear to be held by pink rings. These growths resemble ponytails, and Hatchrim uses them to stand on. Hatchrim has two thin arms lacking any digits and white ovular spot on its chest. Its waist extends into two lumps with a very small light blue jointless and digitless legs. Its eyes have black sclera and white pupils with two white dots for highlights. The background is a pink with lighter hearts on two opposite diagonal corners, and it also has a cream border around the drawing. Oh, man, that sucks. Yeah, definitely RIP as far as that goes. So another member of the band actually left though. I really, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's not the same like, when you've been with somebody, a band for a while, and then like one of the like members passed, like maybe they were like really close and trying to finding a replacement sometimes can cause like a rift in band members, which really sucks. But yeah, this is super cute. I really like this. This is an absolutely adorable Pokemon. I am so far behind on Pokemon. Like, I think the last one I played was the one where the little fox, the fire fox was like one of the beginning options. And I was using that to just like roast like everything for like the longest time. The problem is the last time I played a Pokemon game, I was not yet medicated for ADHD. So I ended up just quitting playing the game. So, but yeah, super adorable from Abby. Like, I love Abby's artwork. It's super, super cute. Fantastic. Like, I would love to see these, like, maybe like stitched onto like a pillowcase or something. I think that would be absolutely adorable. That'd be like a fantastic way to like have your art like transferred to something that you could, physically keep here. Let's see. Rumor has it that Ao was really close with Reita and was going through some stuff emotionally. His death may, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. That tracks. I don't know. It really sucks because I'm pretty sure it was the bass player that passed away, and he was so talented. Like being able to hear like the absolutely wild things he was doing with like the bass lines in the background. Like the Gazette reminds me kind of like still like music we have in the West here with Gent, where it's like very like technical, which is really neat. But the Gazette had been around like way before Gent even like really became like a mainstream thing. So this is a drawing of a soft jellycat plush of a light green frog wearing a gold crown. The background is a light forest green with dark green lily pads of various sizes in opposite diagonal corners. There is also a cream scalped border around the drawing. This is so stinking cute. This like I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like a little bit of like Karopi, but like super like simplified. I know it really sucks because like I just recently like discovered them. Like I would say maybe like last year, like I finally like came across them, and I was like, holy shit, this is good. But yeah, these are like super super cute. Like Abby, if you're watching this, definitely consider maybe seeing if you can find a service where you could get these like maybe like stitched onto like little not like big pillows but like little like small pillows that you could like kind of like display and hold. I think that'd be really really cute. A drawing of the human version of Rarity from My Little Pony. We have a lot of MLP fans here. Equestria Girls. Rarity has white skin, long purple curled hair, with three cutout blue diamond shapes for a hair clip, blue eyeshadow with long purple lashes, and roving purple eyebrows. She is winking while smiling. She has yellow and gold bracelets around her wrists and purple nails. She also wears a gold necklace with a blue diamond. She wears a sparkling purple asymmetrical gown with a white faux feather boa. Matching purple sparkling heels with gold straps with a blue diamond pendant in the middle of each strap. She also holds a circular matching sparkling purple clutch. The background is light purple and three blue diamonds on the opposite diagonal corners. Yeah, postcards would be cool too. That's a good idea. I mean, not all of them are bronies. I think aren't bronies the guy like male like fans of My Little Pony. I don't know if they all consider them like they're all considered bronies or not. I mean, I've personally never watched the show. Like, I heard it's like it is good. Like, it's like the updated version has like a lot of like wit and like humor to it. Uh, I don't know. I mean, it's just. I mean, I'm personally not into it, but like I'm not gonna knock somebody for liking, being a fan of a certain thing. Like, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Like, and I'm like I said, I'm here to showcase people's like artwork and stuff, and I think people do a really good job of showing like their love for the fandom by like creating like alternate versions of things from like established IPs and whatnot. Now, if someone tried to like aggressively make me a brony, then I might have something to say about that. But if you're nice about it, I'll just politely decline. Reference photo of Flora in her Winx fairy form. Flora has tan skin with narrow jade eyes, long honey brown hair with blonde highlights. Flora's Winx outfit is primarily fuchsia in orchid in color and consists of a sparkling bare shoulder top with an orchid skirt that conceals a pair of mini fuchsia shorts, and ankle high fuchsia boots with an orchid colored accent in the middle of the heel. A green choker with a pink colored four petal flower adorns her neck, and she has wrist length fingerless gloves covering her arms. She is summoning magical vines out of her hand. Her wings are lime green and shaped like leaves. The background is olive green with dark pink, large, sparkling roses in diagonal opposite quarters. Like, these descriptions are also like very very well written, so that's really cool too. I like that. Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, they're super creative. Like I said, I can appreciate people's fandoms as long as you are not being toxic about it. If you're not being a jerk about it, love whatever you want and display, make fan art of it. That's how shows and various media get popular. And, that's all I can hope for. Like anything that Havoc and I and whoever ends up like on our team can hope for is that people just do like an assload of fan art, just like shove it off to the world. So really cute. I like this though. Hell yeah. All right, so that is everything from Abby M. Craft. As you can see, they have, ooh, they speak French too. That's crazy. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you encourage them in their art journey. Again, Abby, I think your stuff would look really, really nice sewn onto really small, cute pillows. I think that would be an absolutely adorable merch idea for you. All right, next up we have Tanako or Tanako. I'm not really sure which way I'm supposed to say that. A friend of mine gave me a suggestion to make Ozzy the kangaroo to be in the Unmasked universe. Original Ozzy designed by my friend. This is what Monster Source always says, and the official Unmasked title. More info in the alts. Ozzy is a Captain Boomerang inspired character. It's a redesign of my friends that I made. I was thinking of hiring Hugh Jackman to voice the character because I couldn't find anyone else to fit the role, but a friend of mine insisted that he wanted to voice as him, so I told him to send me recording your voice and I'll think about it. I love that you got like the studio mindset already going there. You're already playing the role. I like it. That's a good way to manifest your dreams there. I can't say that I could. I don't know. I might be able to do an Australian accent if I were to practice at it. Uh, Hearing Hugh Jackman's actual like Australian accent is always so jarring to me because I'm so used to like hearing his like Americanized voice that he does for most of his characters. Like especially like him going from like Wolverine to his like natural accent. It's just like whoa, that is totally different. And he's just so like jovial and jolly. Like it's just such a different like persona than like his characters that he plays. But yeah, this is really cool. I like this. I love all your designs that you come up with, like how you can see like the inspirations, but they're not like so similar to the original like inspiration that you have to worry about like copyright infringement or anything like that. Oh, and this is the original that the friend drew. Cool. He's just I like that he has a pompadour. That's amazing, and then he's got like chest hair poking out of his like incredibly tight like shirt and his sweatpants. This could be like his casual outfit, you know. You should bring this back. Like this should be like his chillin' outfit, you know. Goes to the gym kind of thing. This is the original design that my friend made. I'm just showing you what he looks like before I made the redesign. On the first pic, I can't tell you who my friend is, but I'll tell you that he is the love interest of Jill. Nice. Well, hell, that's cool. I mean, I appreciate you showing like your friend's work as well. Gotta give them some exposure too. I'm thinking about making t-shirt merch or memes for people to use. I just hope the booth at a convention will allow me to have my own booth. Yeah, eventually. You know, there are different ways to get booths at conventions. Sometimes they have like a lottery system where you throw in your name, you pay like a fee, and that you cross your fingers and you hope that you get a booth. Another way, there's like a panel review where essentially your artwork will be judged by the people running the booth, and then hopefully it gets picked. I'm pretty sure in every single scenario you're gonna have to pay for the table space for the booth, which can be really pricey. Some it depends on the size of the convention. And then I think there's another way where essentially, you just kind of like as a first come first serve, which I feel like is what usually happens with like smaller conventions. That just ain't normal. I don't know what his actual voice is or if he has like a southern accent or not, but that's just how I kind of picture this with his little finger here. Or maybe he has more of like a Nathan Explosion voice, like, that just ain't normal. Either way, I like it. Ooh, and then you got your logo here. See, I suck at like graphic design and like logo design. Like this is something that I really need to work on and like study here. But I like the little like added effect of like the kind of like the looks like blood dripping or like paint dripping down onto the bottom part. And I think it was a good choice to only do it on the part that says unmasked. Gives it a little more like drama to it. I finally made the official title from the Unmasked series comics. I gave the color more of a Chainsaw Man theme. No, I think it looks good. I think it fits pretty well. I like it. Again, I have no area of expertise as far as art advice when it comes to um, lettering or title design. So, in my personal opinion, I think it looks pretty good. All right, that is everything from Tanako. They are working on, of course, their series called The Unmasked. Let's go ahead and give them lots of encouragement. We are going to work to make their dreams come true. They're also super nice in the Discord. If you want to interact with them, they will give you a lot of like opinions and advice. All sorts of like positive encouragement. All right, next up we have my friend here, Pensy the Android. Pensy has been with me since the beginning. They're also one of the sweetest, most supportive people I know. So let's go ahead, and make this big here. Here is my new Pensy pick of her giving the finger, and to celebrate Friday the 13th, I did my zombie Tatsuka with the Jason mask. Hope you like. Hell yeah, I like him. Hold on. I love it. I love the attitude. I really like how you did the composition here, so that the middle finger itself comes right into the eye, the view of the eye here. That's a pretty cool choice. My advice is I would have lowered it just a little bit so you can see more of the pupil. But other than that, it looks absolutely fantastic. You're totally killing it when it comes to your digivolving into digital Pensimon. I like it. You're doing an absolutely fantastic job. And I love like all like the color choices here. Ooh, and you took my advice too with the hair, where you're grouping it more into clumps and not doing quite as much detail in between. I think that looks way better. Also with the folds here, you're doing the same thing where it looks really good. I like it. And then we got this character here with the Jason mask. We have a bit of like a zombie drool going on here. I love all of like the stitching, and this is what she's doing here is purely for her poor back, so she can go out and maybe like machete people and not having to worry about falling flat on her face. So I like it. Also, thank you for asking me if this was like okay before you post it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, you guys can post like etchy things as long as like there's like no actual like straight up nipples or like say body parts, which I call puppy parts. As long as those are not exposed, I think Twitch will leave me alone. So I appreciate it. But yeah, it's looking good. I like it. You always do an awesome job, and I love seeing like your progress every single time you post artwork. It's fantastic. That was everything from Pensy. Pensy, like I said, is one of the coolest people you will ever meet on the internet. Please make sure to interact with them. They're super supportive. Um, you know, they're awesome. Let's see, how much more do we got here? We got a little bit, not too bad. I'm gonna sip some water real fast before we continue. Alright, we got two from Adam's Art here. Sorry for missing the last couple art shares, but I'm back with some new stuff. One is a piece of Pitya out in a field at night. Two is Pitya meeting Paul for the first time. Three is a sticker I made for an art event. And four is a gif I made of me on a pogo stick. In replies, as I couldn't fit them all in one post. I need to learn how to make gifs. I love little silly gifs. Aw, this is so cute. I love like the vibe of like this image here. It's like very serene. Like the background is giving me like kind of like almost like the Starry Night like Van Gogh kind of like vibe to it, just because it's like very like impressionistic. But I think it works like really well, especially in contrast with your art style for your characters. I don't know. It just looks really like happy. Like I imagine there's a nice, cool like breeze out here in this like all this greenery in the hills. Like I can feel like being there. So I really like that. That's awesome. Oh no. Can we be friends? And they're like making like Eldritch noises, like like yes, we could be friends. I like it. It's got a little summing circle. It's so cute. I like how they just want to go around and be friends with everybody. So that's awesome. Oh, that's super cute. I haven't seen this movie, but I know this is the one about like the emotions like inside like the body are like personified into like different characters. So that's really cute. I like that. I would say my only advice on this would maybe to have like either a bit of a different color yellow here or some sort of separating color, like where it goes over to the face so that it'll clash with each other. But other than that, it looks like absolutely fantastic. It would be a really cool sticker. And I love this little gift. I hope you guys can see this on the screen. I know it's like really small, but I don't. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to make it bigger. But it's Adam's art. His self-representation is this little leaf with like glasses. Hey, thanks for showing up, Cacho. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I can't wait to hang out with you again. But yeah, it's so cute. He's like bouncing around like on a little pogo stick. It's absolutely adorable. I love it. So that was everything from Adam's art. Adam's art is really really nice. They're really really cool. They are Irish, and one of these days when I am going to travel the world, I'm gonna go have a beer with Adams here. So it's gonna be good times. Ooh, we got one of the new people that I found through a suggestion. I saw somebody on Blue Sky had a really cool idea where they made a list of artists that you should check out that are actually, consistently active. I need to do that with every single one of you guys' art. So maybe that's what I'll work on today. After I hop off stream, I'm going to play with my cat Vegeta so he doesn't lose his mind. And then maybe after that, I'll work on making a post where I can give you guys more looks, more eyes on your profiles. So this is, and I'm sorry if I say your name wrong, Awagita. Uh, they wrote, "Thank you for this. Hi, hi. I'm a digital fantasy illustrator. I draw fan arts and draw this in your styles. I like magical girls, RPG, and D&D. Hey, same. I like all those things. These are Artists versus Art February 2026 fan arts from Magical Doremi." Oh, this is so cute. I love this. And I love your little like persona for like your art character. Your style is so cute. I love this. This is awesome. I love like how this character here looks like they have like their hair is like actually like geometric like building blocks kind of like onto their head. Same with this one here. It's so cute. I love these. I like this one has like a little smug face down here too. And it kind of looks like they might be flavors from what I can tell. Like this one might be like grape. This one might be like cherry. I'm just making assumptions here because I don't actually know anything about this series that your fan art is from. So I apologize about being misinformed on that. But these are so cute. I really like these. Absolutely adorable. Super solid work. I need to come to you for advice on cute art because that is something that I'm weak at. So all right, so that was everything from Wagata. So make sure if you want absolutely adorable art, they are, your prime example here. Fantastic. Thank you so so much for joining our art share. I cannot wait to see more of your art. All right, and we have I'm gonna say this name wrong too. Uh, Alin, I think Eileen, Ein. I'm so sorry. I don't think I'm saying that right, but man, this is beautiful. I like this. Ooh, I love the candles hanging in these. These are almost like little spell effigies or like kind of like a guardian kind of shit. I don't know what these are called. Havoc can help me out on the yeah, this is really really neat. Like I love like the fog effect here in the background for the atmospheric perspective. We've got some like either crystals or we got some rocks here. Maybe there's been some like geological like expansion out here where the stones or the crystals are jutting out of the earth. This is so neat. I love it. It's like very very awesome like vibe-inducing storytelling just with like this one little scene. Ooh, and there's like a black mirror too into the yeah, trying to chase away evil spirits, exactly like a ward of types. Yeah, definitely. I would say that too. Also with like the the cloth that's hanging on this. Like usually, like white cloth is like kind of used as like a purity, like for purifying kind of thing. So maybe maybe this is also maybe a protection against this black mirror down here. So no spooky things come out of that. This is really awesome. I love it. Fantastic. This is something I need to practice too. Like just these little like vignettes of like a world and like kind of like a landscape kind of almost like a nature style portrait. Looks awesome. I love it. All right, so that was everything from Ein. I hope I'm saying your name right. If I don't, if I'm not, I really apologize. I swear I don't do it on purpose. Thank you so much for your beautiful artwork. It looks amazing. All right, next up we have Lin Lin. Thanks for the art share. Hey, you are super welcome. I've been busy working on my comic this week, so here's fan art of some of my favorite franchises. Ooh, I can't wait to see more of your comic. I gotta read more of it. Alright, we have a side profile of Dark Magician Girl from Yu-Gi-Oh! In an Art Nuevo inspired style. I know this is like a really popular like Yu-Gi-Oh! Card here. I see it like all the time, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because it's a really cool little design. Also, like really good job translating like the Art Nuevo style with like the framing and the pattern work and the having the dark stroke around the character itself. Really, really good composition. I also suck at like the side profile. That's something that I am personally bad at. So you did a really good job with that. Then we have Phoenix Iki from Saint Seiya. You know what? I've never seen this show, and it's weird that I haven't, because like I am not young by any means. So this is definitely like from my era. So in an action pose with a collage of screenshots from the show in the background. Looks really cool. I like it. I love the differentiating of the materials. Again, really really good job. You have like the high contrast between the highlights and the shadow work and all the pieces that are metallic, and you can definitely see like that. The light source is more the main light source is based over here, and then there's like a secondary coming from this direction. So looks really really good. I like it. Super action shot. Looks like he's gonna punch the ever loving shit out of somebody. And then we have the protagonist of Shin Megami Tensei 5, the Nahobino, stands in front of the steps inside the Tokyo Diet building where angels lay defeated and the demon Nua looms over him. I haven't played this one. Like, I think I played the second Shin Megami Tensei back in the day on PlayStation 2, and at the time I didn't have the patience for it. Like anything like Atlas related RPGs, the only one I've actually beaten is super recent, and I just finished Metaphor ReFantasio, and I'm super proud of myself for actually finishing it because it was good. It was like super grindy, but I did enjoy it. The characters were really, really well done, and of course, like a big aspect of the games is your relationships with like your characters and stuff. So that was really cool to, get to know the characters and have them follow you throughout the story and whatnot. But yeah, this is really cool. I really like it. I love the composition here. That she's kind of like the demon Nua is kind of like materializing around like the protag, lurking around them. And then of course you have the blurred background in the back is a really nice effect. And then we have a one-page comment made for the Beastly Zine. Sasaki, ex Drake, and Queen from One Piece play rock, paper, scissors, and Sasaki and ex Drake lose, so as punishment, they have to be Queen's backup dancers in his signature dance, perform in front of the rest of the Beast Pirates, much to their dismay. Hell yeah. I love One Piece so much, and this is actually like super accurate here, especially with the dance. I love this. This is awesome. So they both do scissors. He does rock, and then he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to dance with me." That's amazing. I love it. The dance sequence was so ridiculous in the anime. They did such a good job, like animating. It was so funny. All right, so that was everything from Linlin. As you can see, they are super talented. They have a comic. Make sure that you follow the link. Make sure you check it out. They also have their commissions available. So if you want to get some awesome artwork from them, you can. All right, next up we have Nympha. Nympha is also super awesome. One of the OGs that's been with me since the beginning. A fellow VTuber and a fellow webtoon artist as well. They wrote, "Happy Art Share Day. My drawing motivation had been so low as of late, so I want to show off a panel from my comic, a cute Ojo-sama doing the iconic anime laugh, concept sketch of a D&D campaign I want to run involving aliens, and a totally not real event of Nympha going to a card shop alone." Ooh, this is super cool. I love this. You got the aura farming here. Hell yeah, with like the you can feel their spiritual pressure, their Ryatsu, or their like, their chi or whatever kind of energy they have going off here. This is from their webtoon. They have a webtoon called God King Gazai Batsu. It's really really neat, really cool. Their art style involves a lot of like graffiti type elements, so it gives it like a really unique like flair and style to it. So this is really neat. And I love this one. Like if you could hear an image, it's this the oh. Yeah, it's fantastic. Like definitely fits like perfectly with the trope of this style of character, with the rich anime girl with the shitty hand and the shitty face looking down on you for being a poor. I love it. Ooh, this is cool. I like this. This is a nice little concept here, the D&D concept. We got like this crazy like shadow, like morphic kind of like glowy alien thing with like somebody maybe encapsulated in like a sci-fi style tube here. Nice. I should have brought my friends or Kermit with me. Yeah, I couldn't imagine going to like a card shop like by myself. Like I would definitely like my social anxiety would like peak. But on the flip side, going to the tabletop room at a convention I really enjoy, Magfest, I always find like the most like welcoming, like fun people to play with there. So maybe it's not so bad in that kind of setting. At least from my experience at Magfest, which is a music and video game festival that goes on every single year. I always find I have the most fun in the tabletop room, even though I am in no way, shape, or form good at card games or tabletops. So I just love interacting with people. I think it's fun, even though I have social anxiety. I'm usually drunk as hell, so that helps. Although I haven't had a drink in years, so I don't know if I would do it this time around. But yeah, a very good representation of anxiety. Anyway, that's everything from Nympha. Make sure you check out their webtoon, God King Zaibatsu. Make sure you follow them on Twitch. They do go live to work on their webtoon, and they are super cool. All right, next up we have Keychain here. I would like to share my upcoming animated short film. Hell yeah. If memories could become content, who are you without the screen? Hello, I am Shane Magtoto, and I'm currently developing my EMC Capstone 1 through 2 project Day 1, a solo animated short film and research study running throughout 2026. I'll be sharing more updates. The final release will be in December. Oh, yeah. I used to get it really bad. I have gotten medicated since then, so it's not quite so bad, but I used to have like literal mini panic attacks. Like I'd be at like a restaurant with my wife and I would just get up to use the restroom and I would have like little mini panic attacks just passing other people and I feel like I was like just gonna pass out of nowhere. So ooh, this is really cool. I like this. If memories become content, who are you without the screen? Day 1, coming to a theater near you. I like this. All of the noise effect you've added here, like the Perlin noise, with like some actual like some chromatic aberration we have going on here. Really works really well. You've got like the digital like kind of like glitch effect with social media here. You can definitely tell that this is based around how everybody interacts in society and how social media is a big part of our daily lives and the anxiety that it can invoke. So I personally had to adjust myself basically to say, hey, if someone's being negative on my social media about anything I'm doing, then the block button exists and it is there to use. So just block them and move on because they don't deserve to rattle you and to disturb your energy. So anyway, that is everything from Keychain here. I cannot wait to see your short film. I want to get into animation myself. I actually had the version of Clip Studio Paint where I could do animations. So maybe I'll do some streams eventually where I stumble my way through learning animation. You guys can you can hold my hand the whole time and make me feel better. So, all right. Next up, we have Rainbow Dog, aka Carla K. Carla is also a fellow VTuber and also does YouTube animations. So make sure that you follow them on Twitch, follow them also on YouTube. They also are really big in the furry community. So if you want a really fun, awesome person to hang out with online, definitely check them out. For some reason, it doesn't tell me when you tag me on these posts. Ah, shit. I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm sorry, Carla. I keep missing, almost missing them. This week, I was trying to draw designs I purchased. One is Nimbus, 2 is Cassie, 3 is Eshell. Thank you for the pronunciation. I really appreciate that. Good look. And 4 is Camilla. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. I love the shape language on this one too, with like the big like Phoenix Fox kind of like ears we have going on here. And I'm not totally biased with like the shape of the hair being like 100% similar to my super wild quantum hair I got going on here. Oh yeah, let me know what you guys think about my me unlocking my quantum abilities and the look of my quantum model here. Please let me know if you think it's excessive or if you really like it. I would like some feedback on that because I don't want to be one of those people that goes wild with effects and like ruins the aesthetics of things. So, but yeah, I love this. This is really cool. I love like the music notes. There's like so many like tiny little details like thrown in here that are really really neat. You got like leopard spots up here. You got stripes. You got stars. You got music. Really cool. Ooh, I like the colors on this one. This one is just like, this looks like tasty sherbet all together. Like, one of those like multi-flavored like sherbets. That's the vibe this one's giving me, so. Hate interaction with people. Like, I don't know. Like as I've gotten older, like I said, I've got like more of a handle on things, especially like with the medication. So I don't have as much trouble. Like I'm a really like friendly person. I think I just have trouble initiating the interactions, and then after I've started the interactions, then I get really comfortable, and I will be super goofy and I'll talk your face off. So like doing this VTubing, like I was really really nervous at first. Like I was stuttering. Like I could actually hear like the shake in my voice. It was a major like challenge and accomplishment for me to be able to get on the internet and speak at people. So, oh my God, yeah, I've had nothing but customer service jobs for the most part. I'd say like 85% of the jobs I've had in my lifetime were all customer service. So yeah, that for a long time I worked for a certain giant coffee company. So I had to do a lot of playing barkeep slash therapist to the public. So, but yeah, this is really really cute. I really like this. I love how they have like different scenes even in here. Like there's like a little sun with like rainbows and a sky that like stretches across the legs. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it sucks because like COVID opened up a whole bunch of like remote work jobs, and now they're being like taken away, which really really sucks. Uh, I'm personally the type of person like if I'm gonna have like a 9 to 5 job like that, I would like to do something where I just do a task and everybody leaves me the hell alone all day. I get the task done, I get my pay, and I log out, and I'm good. But they keep taking away that, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. But like, why do I need to come to an office? You're gonna pay so much money to like keep that office running, and you gotta feed me and all sorts of stuff. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Business people blow my mind the way they think. I don't understand them. Anyway, ooh, this one is really really cool. I like this. I love the idea of having like little like scenes that like stretch across like the bodies of like the characters. I think that's really neat. I like that. So cool. Ooh, this one. I like this one a lot. This one gives me a little bit of some MLP vibes, but it also gives me vibes from the the pop star has been Hotel Hellhound, who has like the like super crazy like rainbow hair and stuff. It's really cool. And then it also kind of gives me like like those little Debbie like kind of like snacks with like the sprinkles on them and like the white icing. Like it looks like it could be tasty. Not that they're like the ones that I like personally, but just it looks like food. It gives me like cake vibes. All right, so that is everything from Carla K, aka Rainbow Dog. Like I said, make sure that you follow her on Twitter and on YouTube. She also interacts in my Discord. She's super super nice. She has her own Discord as well. Yes, Cosmic Brownies. Hell yeah, I see you. All right, we're getting towards the end here, which is good. I'm doing my best to like slow down a little bit to preserve my voice. We have Jupiter Planet. I love Jupiter Planet's work. It's so good. Not too much info, but I'll give you what I can. Hey, that is okay. I'll take it. One is a sketch of Shayla Lowe. Two is a sketch of Rachel Lowe. She's the eldest. Three is a sketch of Molly. Four is a quick sketch of a goddess, my boyfriend, and I, or best friend, thought up for our Minecraft world. Her name is by Zaitin, goddess of love and marriage. Enjoy, and I hope your headache goes away. Well, thank you so much, Jupiter. I appreciate it. Ooh, I love the pose. I love the expression on this. We got like the given the bedroom eyes. We got kind of like the pinup pose going on here. Really nice. I love seeing people's like sketch work. Like that's something that I also need to post more often. I've been preaching that you guys can should post your sketches and stuff, and I need to lead by example and do the same damn thing. So I'm gonna start doing that. I need you guys to hold me accountable, and if you don't see it from me, pester me about it. So, ooh, I like this. I like her eyes. She's got kind of like the down tilted eyes a little bit, but also kind of goes up with the cheeks for like the smile here. And you can see that she's got a nice like round opaque brush here for like the shading work. Really, really nice. I love that you can always see like the personalities of the characters in Jupiter's work. Ooh, and then we got a traditional sketch with this one here. I like this. This is cool. I love like the skirt here is giving me like kind of like some JoJo vibes with like the avant-garde like high fashion kind of thing. With the really like 3D like textured kind of like work on it. I like it. And then she's got kind of like the shy like bookworm personality thing kind of going for her. And here is the goddess. Oh, she wears like a sexy nightgown. Hell yeah. I'm all for it. And then she's got little antenna like hair things coming out with like a heart and a flower. Oh, this is adorable. I love this. This is a really cool concept. Also, really nice handwork you got going on here. Always have to call that out. And of course, she's got some hips, which she should have. Hell yeah. All right, that is everything from Jupiter Planet. Make sure you check them out. They sometimes they have like little like short little comics about like their OCs and stuff. Make sure you check them out. They are really good, really fantastic work, and they're super nice. All right, next up we have PSM, aka Prime Star Mangaverse. They have a manga that they actually publish, which is really cool. They wrote, "It's always a pleasure to be part of your art share stream, Aniki. Hey, I appreciate it's always a pleasure to have you in my stream." So we got this cool chill woman here. This is Chill Woman, a heroic princess and a member of the Triangulum branch of the Justice Guild. Unlike her super-powered falseman peers who only want fame and riches, Chill Woman wants to help people from the evils of the galaxy. Nice. I like it. Super cool stuff. I love like the texturing that you put on your coloring there. Helps it to take away that like kind of artificial like when you look at something you're like, oh, that's digital because it's like really flat. It does a really good job to add some like texturing to the work. Then we have, this is Parvati Khanna, a loyal knight to Prince Leo, oh my god, I can't speak, who was murdered by President Noki, or Genoki, and his Tri-Mage Corporation for his power. Now she wants to seek revenge against him and is looking for a way to bring her dear prince back to life. Nice. I like this. I like how you have like different cultures also like ingrained into your manga here. That's something that Havoc and I also have like worked on. Having a lot of inclusive, because there's more than just one type of person in the world, and yeah, bring you back to middle school. Hell yeah. Yeah, what really brings me back to high school is the Gundam Wing opening, the just one beat, da 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 da. That one like absolutely like brings me straight back to high school with that, or to middle school. I mean, but yeah, good stuff. I love her big giant hair. I love the variations of color in the highlights. I think that looks really, really nice. And she's got like the cherry blossom like kind of motif going on here. Looks really good. And then we have a group picture of all my main characters from many different series of my Prime Star mangaverse. It is actually a front cover for my future crossover magazine or mangazine. Ooh, nice. You know what you should look into? You should look into getting in touch with, I don't know if you're aware of it, it's called Saturday AM. Um, they are a they're like a comic group. They're Western mangaka, just like yourself. They are founded by people of color, of course. So I feel like you would fit in like perfectly in their little group there, and they'd be like really welcoming. And it would be super awesome to be able to see your work also published in Saturday AM. They also had their works like published in like Barnes and Noble and like Walmart, and you can basically go to their store and buy like their manga. So that might be something to look into. And even if you say it doesn't like work out to be part of a group of it, it could also give you like inspiration and just like a new community that you could interact with, find companionship. But yeah, this is really cool. I like this princess back here. I'm always a sucker for like throwing like stars on things because like I'm a huge like Gurren Lagann fan. We got your super cool mecha armor down here, inspired by Tekken Man Blade. We had conversations about how it was like inspired from that. And then I also love like how your other characters look like they're straight out of like a JRPG as well. Like super cool stuff. Really nice. Uh, if you ever want to do like a collab where I want to reach out with people and do like some fun like collab like art with people. So if you ever wanted to get together for maybe like a guest cover, or maybe have like a fan art section in your manga, please reach out to me. I think that would be really fun to work on together. Ooh, this is really cool too. This is one of the feature cover art for the Neo Destiny issue where Locke and friends storm the Tower of Zale in order to rescue their friends from the demon Baphomet. Hell yeah. We got, speaking of JRPG party here, you got like your mage. I really like her outfit. That's really cool. And then you got like your warrior fighter type here. This might be like the healer, and then you got like your rogue type here. That's really cool. I like it. Hell yeah. So that is everything from PSM, aka Prime Star Mangaverse. Make sure you go to their profile. You can read their manga. You can get them lots of support, get them lots of encouragement. We are, again, using this stream to make everyone's goals and aspirations become a reality. So, that's my whole mission, is to make sure we get eyes on everybody's work, that we all become famous artists and celebrities. Next up, we have Mitsuki Mitsu. Mitsuki is awesome. I absolutely love their style. Like, their style is just so uniquely them. They wrote, "Hello, finally decided to draw a new OC. 2, literally have never drawn Miku, so I decided to do so for Miku Day. 3, didn't know what to draw, and it kind of just turned out like this. 4, was getting kind of rusty with anatomy and composition, so I wanted to draw a full body art piece." Ooh, I like this. Ooh, that's really cool. I like that. I like how his brush turns into like this really cool like paint like sword like dagger thing. That's sick. I love it. This is Mikhail Thorne de Penrose, the Death Painter. Destruction is the only redemption for the Penrose family. I don't know if that's his voice, but that's just what I'm going with right now. Hell yeah, that's really cool. I like it. Wow, for somebody who's never drawn Miku before, that's a top-notch Miku. I have never drawn Miku myself, to tell you the truth. Like, I mean, I like the whole like Vocaloid like design thing. It just never struck me to do any Miku fan art. Uh, it might actually be lucrative for me to do so because it's so popular. So I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll draw a Miku at some point. But damn, you did a good job. Like, I absolutely love the expression. I love all the texturing. I love how she's got like the spotlight on her. Hey, Pensy, just took a nap. Yeah, I totally get it. Like, like I said, since I wasn't feeling well earlier, once I got it to calm down a little bit, I went back to sleep for a while until stream. So I feel you. You're coming in towards the end here. I think we only have like one or two left, but that is totally okay. Don't worry, I gave you glaze and praise, so well deserved. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Ooh, I really like this. I think this is cool. Like, I like that you came into this like without a plan and you came out with like a really cool like effect. Like, I think this gradient works like really well. Like, I can see that you did like all the line work first, and then instead of doing like usual things like where you would do like a bunch of flats, you used like a gradient color scheme. Yeah, this one's really neat. Uh, so there is a print service I use called Cat Print, CATPRINT.com, and they have a holographic finish option, which I'm an absolute like sucker for. So like when you turn it a little bit or the light hits it, it has a little bit of that like cool like refraction on it. Like I think a print of this would look like really really neat, like done that way. They're also like a super quality like print service. I am not sponsored by them, but if they want to sponsor me, you know what I'm saying? I'd totally be down for it, princess. But yeah, I love this. I love this character too. Like she's so cute. She's got the Hime cut. She's got like the little beauty mark, the red eyes. I like this character. I think she's my favorite out of all of Mitsu's characters here. Ooh, I like this. I like how Mitsu was like, "I'm rusty. Let me cook." Makes an absolute like banquet of visual deliciousness. It looks so good. I love it. I love the use of like the lace like in your designs and whatnot. I think that's like really really neat, really really cool. And you've definitely got a ton of like visual storytelling going on here. Yes, she is definitely Don't Be Thick as well. Hell yeah! And the glowy eyes. I'm always a sucker for the glow. This is perfect. This is Aniki coded. I love this a lot. All right, so that was everything from Mitsuki Mitsu. Make sure you give them a lot of support. They have a very iconic art style. You can 100% tell it's their work just by glancing at it. So yeah, make sure you give them lots of love, lots of support. They also do really cute like 4 panel comics or little like sketch comics of their characters interacting. All right, this is possibly the last one. So after I do this one, I am going to reload the page, and we will make sure we didn't miss anybody. Oh my god, I'm not following that. Holy crap, I'm sorry, dude. This is Joey the Boys Art. I also appreciate your name. They're also a fellow VGen artist. Thanks for this. Here's some of my favorite art in order. We have my OCs, Leo and Rosie, who I do a comic strips with. We have some Deltarune Chapter 4 fan art. We have Yukiko from JoJo's. From was it part 4 or part 3? I can't remember. Part 4, I think. A Christmas drawing of Trucy from Ace Attorney. All right, I like this. We saw this last week, but there's totally nothing wrong with that whatsoever. We got some adorable OCs here with some opposing personalities. We got the middle finger and the peace sign. The alt reads Art of Leo and Rosie, two of the artist's original characters. Rosie is a dark skinned short girl in a school uniform and a black jacket over it. Has her arm wrapped around Leo, a tall, pale guy with glasses wearing the same uniform, who is slightly hunched over to allow her to do this. They're both looking at the camera, with Leo doing a peace gesture and Rosie holding out her middle finger. The background is abstract and colorful. Rosie's poor arm here because he's like so tall. She's got some gummo gummo no Luffy arm going on here. But it looks good. I love like her like delinquent ass expression and like it's so cool. Next up, we have the fan art of a scene from Deltarune Chapter 4. Chris, Susie, and Ralsei are bracing against the wind in a very dark room, illuminated only by the light emanating from Chris's soul, which is visible on their chest. To their sides are black magic swords being thrown at them. Susie's expression is of annoyance. Chris's is in neutral and obscured by their hands. And Ralsei's is of defeat. On the bottom left corner are links to the artist's various sites. Hell yeah, I like this. This is really cool. This is a neat idea of having like the singular like light source, showing the scene. They're probably going through some sort of like dark cavern. I have not played Undertale or Deltarune, but god damn it, do I love the soundtrack to both of them. I watched a friend briefly play some of Undertale. I believe at some point I will probably pick it up. It's a really neat idea for like an RPG. Not sure I have 100% have the patience for it, but we'll see. Maybe one day. And then we have Yukako Yamagishi from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with the words "I hate you" dramatically plastered on her face in all caps, as well as 3 repetitions of the phrase emanating from her. She's making a dramatic surprise expression, and there's dramatic lighting seemingly coming from below. Her hair is all going upwards. My watermark at the bottom left reads "Joy the Boy" in all caps. Yeah, so she's got like the crazy like her hair is her like stand. Essentially, I love JoJo so much. JoJo is so ridiculous. It's so cool. This is a really good like representation of like the scene where Koichi, I think that's his name, kind of like rejects her almost. I don't know. He's definitely like he's kind of like the Krillin, but more important of that series. So, and then the final one we have here an illustration of Trucy Wright from the Ace Attorney series, holding a steaming hot mug and standing by a window with a lot of sunlight coming through. She's wearing a Christmas outfit consisting of a red sweater with a snowman and a matching green scarf, and mittens with white zigzag patterns. A plush figure of the Blue Badger mascot is sitting near the window, also wearing a red sweater with a Santa hat on each point of its 3-pointed head. On the top right corner is my watermark. So yeah, this is like a really warm, really like wholesome scene here. For Christmas, we got the light flooding through with the bloom effect, looking really, really good, looking really cozy. You know, it must be really, really cold outside if she's also wearing mittens and a sweater inside and a scarf. But you know what? Maybe she just likes being extra cozy. Alright, so that was everything from Joy the Boy. As you can see, they make really, really cool, really like vibrant art that we have going on here. They have comics that they do. Make sure we go and check them out. Let me do a quick reload of this page here to make sure we did not miss anyone. We'll just do a quick scroll here. I would hate to leave anyone out. Alright, looks like we got everybody. Give me one moment. I'm gonna bring up one of my artworks here. So for a split second, I'm gonna put you guys in the lobby, and then I'll be right back. If I can get it to load. Come on, buddy. You can do it, computer. I believe in you. Oh my god. Come on, clip. Open up. Open up. No, I get it, Pensy. I appreciate that you okay it with me before you put it on there. Oh my god. Okay. So the first thing I wanted to show off here. This is a keychain idea I did actually last time I streamed. This is the representation of chat here. Let me go ahead and bring it up here so you guys can see. This is the design I came up for, which the visualization of you guys. We got this really cool like quantum like space kitty here. This kitty, of course, is also gender fluid, so it represents everybody's gender identity and sexual identity as well. And I think it's really cool. It's this like delinquent ass cat. But yeah, so this is what I came up with for the line work. If you guys can see it up in the corner, I don't know who this artist is, but this is where I got the reference for the posing. So if you happen to know who the artist is, please let me know so I can credit them for that. So we did that. And I don't like this one as much, but this is the first keychain design I came up with of my model here. It is cute, but I think Chad is cuter. I might be a little biased. I might like you guys a little bit more than I like me. So do that. And let's see here. What else can I show you guys? Let me. Oh, good. It opened on the other screen. Okay, so I don't have to throw you guys back in the lobby, which is nice. Let's see. Let's do. Let's do. Where is it? This is a YouTube thumbnail that I actually put some effort into. It is like more of like my sketch kind of style with a little bit of, some basic like rendering and effects to it. I am playing Silent Hill 2, of the remake, a couple days a week on stream. It's a little janky because yeah, it's hard to see it yourselves. uh, it's a little janky like on my PC, and I can't use my model while playing it, but if you guys want to hang out with me on stream, I'll be playing it a little bit next week. Most likely I'll probably be playing maybe I'll probably play Monday and maybe Tuesday. I haven't decided whether I want to do artwork at the beginning of the week or not. Alright, so we got that one. Let me see if I can show off one more thing, because that'll be the same as showing off 4 like you guys get. So I guess I'll do another fan art here. So let me find it. Carla actually suggested that I show off my own artwork as well, because she actually found me through when I was playing What is that game? The game where you're like a drug dealer. the really cute game where you're a drug dealer. But yeah, she found me through that. So all right. Here's the last one I'll show today. I also played through Alien Isolation on stream. The VODs for that should also still be up on my YouTube channel if you guys aren't subscribed to it. So I had a lot of fun doing this. You know, it was also really cool to do like kind of like a more like kind of like painterly style. I love the Alien series. Like every single, it's like my favorite sci-fi like horror series. So yeah, Bob's Burgers with the drugs. Yep, Schedule One. Yep, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, Pensy was the androids in Alien Isolation. They were constantly trying to give me incredibly aggressive hugs. I had to avoid that. So, but I wouldn't do that to Pensy in real life. I would totally take a hug from Pensy IRL. So, but yeah, this was my lovely wife Havoc played the alien, and she destroyed me on a regular basis. So I died a lot. But I still think the Alien Isolation is the absolute pinnacle of the representation of sci-fi horror that is the Alien franchise. I think it's an absolutely perfect game as far as that goes. So, oh yeah, and Alex was the humans. All right, let me throw you guys in the lobby here so we can do a little bit of a wrap up for today. I want to thank everybody so much for not only participating in the art share, but also showing up to show support to all these amazing artists. I love seeing your artwork every single week. It is my favorite stream that I do every single week. For those of you guys that are new, it is a pin post on my Blue Sky. You can pin your artwork there with some brief descriptions, and that is where I will pull from to do the stream. Quick promo to myself. I do have a VGen account. I will post that again on my Blue Sky shortly. It's in my links to my socials. If you would like any commission work for me, I would really appreciate it. I'm really trying to get verified. If you like the kind of content I do, please follow me to see when I go live. Consider subscribing. That would help me out tremendously to continue to do this for you guys. I will be back on Monday. Until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch